Hello everyone. This video is going to focus on how to move around inside Excel. Now you'd be surprised, there's actually a number of different ways that we can move around Excel using the keyboard or using the mouse. So if we want to select a specific cell, this relatively straightforward way, we just click it. But what if we want to select multiple cells? What do we do then? What if we need to select this whole table? Well, obviously, we're just going to click, we're going to drag. At that point, we can do Command C if we need a copy. Go over here, hit Command V, paste it in. Simple stuff, right? And we can always undo. Now, as you've probably noticed, you can only select cells in a rectangular function. We can't select a triangle group of cells, and just by using the mouse, it's pretty hard, and it's impossible to select two different columns of cells without using a function. That function is holding down the control button. So say we need to select belt types, which is suede, leather, fabric, we would hit Control for PC and Command for Mac, and then we would do Control or Command C for copy. And then we could come over here and do Command V, and it's going to tell us error, you can't do that. But we have copied both, and if we do that, we can paste both of them in using Command V. We can also do it here if we'd like to as well. Next, there's another way of operating around the worksheet, and that's by using your arrows. So you're up and down, left and right. And we can just simply move through the spreadsheet efficiently, go to different sections, different numbers, quite easily. Now, how do we select multiple cells by using the arrows? Well, we can't do two groups of non-contiguous cells like we could before, right? We could select that, hit Command, and also select those cells at the same time. But what we can do is hold Shift and go down, use our down arrow, or use our right arrow, and then we can go Copy Command, and we can actually copy a section, and then we could go down here and paste it if we wanted to, right? So I'll show you an example. We go over here, we hit Shift, down arrow, go across, Command Copy, scroll over here, hit Command V, and we can paste it. And we can also adjust the size of these cells. So if we grab all of them and then go to the top, we see our width is 10 or 65 pixels. And if we go to the right, we can make the box as big as we want, and it affects all three columns. And we can always undo that if we don't like it. Next is the Enter versus the Tab function. So if you click Enter, you notice you drop a cell, and if you hit Tab, you notice you go right a cell. Why? Well, because if we're working on a spreadsheet, pretty much the goal once you master Excel is to not use your mouse at all. And I will eventually show you how to do that. We don't need to use our mouse to do anything, except selecting non-contiguous cells. For example, say we do our Shift down, and then we hit Tab, it'll bring us right to the bottom. We can see fake leather. And then continuing to hold Shift and scroll across, and then we can do Command C. We can move over here, paste it efficiently, just like we were before. But if we're operating in a table and we need to move through quickly, instead of moving down to the down arrows, we can just hit Enter, scroll over, and it's also great if we're inputting data. So say we're doing a new table and we do fade, instead of going over to the arrow key, we can just hit Tab, we can hit Google, Facebook, and now instead of going all the way down here and having to go back to the next line, going 1, 2, 3, because we hit Tab, as soon as we hit Enter, it'll bring us down to that next line. But if we were using the arrows, so instead of tabbing over, let's go to the arrow twice, and now let's hit Enter. You see how it just drops us down one cell? Let's go back there. Tab, Tab, Enter. It brings us back to the original start of our table. It makes efficiency great if you're inputting a bunch of data or just working on a simple spreadsheet for a project. Now, I want to back up a second, and I want to focus on inserting and deleting columns, because we haven't touched upon that yet. So say we need to get rid of this and we really don't want it there. Now, let's just highlight it like we did before when we were adjusting the columns, but let's hit delete and it takes all of them out. And you can also, if we hit the undo button, go up here and right click it. We see that it says clear contents. So instead of deleting it, because maybe we have important stuff down here, instead of deleting it, and or say we have stuff over here and we don't want to merge the cells, because if we delete this, it'll bring all of our cells over here and just bring it 3 columns closer this way. We could hit clear content, or we could hit delete. Also, if we have some data in here and we need to insert a cell right here, we would just click on G, right click, and then hit insert. And now we just put G and put another cell right there. And see how we have our little option to format same as left, same as right. So basically in this sense, because the cell's blank, if we do hit format same as right, it's basically just going to copy the cell size, the length and the width, right? And now if we were to do the same thing as well too, insert a new cell, it's going to ask us for the option. We hit same as right and see how it bumps out that cell a little bit bigger. Also, like we've touched upon before, if we make a mistake, you can always hit the undo button and go back, no problem. But another way to do that, which is more efficient, is by hitting Command Z. And if we hit Command Z, 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 it brings us all the way back. And another way we can look at the steps that we've done is if we go up to the undo button here and we click on this little arrow, we can see everything we've done pretty much for the last 25-50 minutes. It tracks everything. So say we're going to want to go back to our step where we redid typing in E9, we would click that, and it would bring us back right before we had, just after we had pasted this little section in here. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know right now about navigation throughout Excel and how to efficiently move through your cells if you're coding using Tab and Enter.